Come on at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hi, welcome to John's Bottle Making. Welcome to my hobby room. Today we got Eddie Stauber, issues 23 and 24. We're carrying on with the engine block. This is what we did in 22. There you go, that's the right way up. And here we have 23 and 24. More parts for the engine block. We've also got issues 25 and 26, which I'll be doing later on this week. But for now, we got these two little beauties. So, without further ado, let's get on with the build. Okay, so here are the parts. Let's get them out. We have the oil sump, and 2302 is the rear cylinder head cover, and 2303 is the front cylinder head cover. Difference being, that's the front, that's the rear. And we have an oil cap, there it is, and two sets of screws, DPO7 and DDO3. Excellent stuff. Okay, so first of all, we need the oil cap on this front cylinder head. We fit the cap in there. It will only go on one way. Then we need the DPO7 screws. Just like that. Now what we need is to fit the front cylinder head cover onto the upper edge of the engine block. 2201, that's this one. Here we go. And this will go on here, here and here. Location peg there. That will fit there just like that. And then we need another screw. Another DPO7 screws, because it's plastic. That goes there like so. There we go. There's the oil filler cap and the front head cylinder. Now what we need is the rear. Again, little peg there, screw mounting point there, and another one of these DPO7 screws. Nice and tight. There we go. Just like that. Excellent stuff. Then all we need is DDO3 screws for the next part. You only need two of these, if I can get two out. And we have the oil sump, where this goes like that. For some reason there's paint missing off here and here, and the instructions it looks as though it's missing from the middle, but there we go, that fits nicely just like that. And then we just need two screws. Now these are metal, so we can pop a little bit of oil right on the end, just to ease it in. That's the first. It's already holding it well. And that's the second. There we go. Excellent stuff. That is completed work. Oil sump and cylinder head covers. Brilliant. Lovely jubbly. Okay, let's pop that to one side. Have a look at the magazine. Okay, page 7, Fans in Action. By 1992, the number of letters flooding into the office meant that it was becoming far too costly to send everyone a reply with a free calendar and the in-house magazine. The answer was to form the Eddie Stauber fan club. Excellent stuff. Main picture: during the early 1990s, the smart trucks of Eddie Stobart Limited were getting noticed. This Volvo F10 is parked up at the Kingstown depot. The J prefix registration indicates that it joined the fleet between August 91 and July 92, when the volume of letters to Eddie Stobart was growing rapidly. Excellent stuff. That story goes on for 3 pages. There's a good article on the next page. Fab fan clubs. The RDF people being fans developed in the 17th century. There are 2 possibilities as to the origin of the term. It could refer to boxing supporters who would fancy a particular fighter, or it may be an abbreviation of fanatic, a word that was used in a derogatory manner, usually to refer to extreme religious devotees. Excellent stuff. Love a bit of history. And then the last article on page 10. Volvo F10. During the second half of the 1980s, the Stobart fleet included a number of F10 trucks from Swedish manufacturer Volvo. The 6x2 tractor units were capable of hauling large loads on curtain-side trailers. And in the main picture, E and F prefix number plates on this pair of Volvo F10s indicate that they joined the fleet in the late 1980s. At this time, the original logo with cursive script was still in use, although the spoilers on the cabs indicate that a move to a bolder font is on the way. Excellent stuff. That was off 2 pages, and then we've got the back page. Your next set of parts: exhaust manifold and alternator. There we go. So let's get on with issue 24, and here we have the parts. So let's get them open. Okay, so list of parts: exhaust manifold, alternator, alternator belt, alternator holder, 2 times 2.3 times 4mm PM screws, 7 1.2 times 4mm PB screws. Those are the metal ones, the DD03, and those are very small DP06 screws. Excellent stuff. Okay, so first of all, we need the alternator belt. That is all plastic, there's no rubber on that whatsoever. And we need it this way around, and we need to fit this in here. There's a keyhole shape there, just like that, and that is held in with a DP or a PB screw, sorry. It should be one of the plastic ones. Okay, that's DP06. Right, let's get this lined up correctly. That's the way it is. There we go. That's how that fits. Gives the impression of a belt, doesn't it? That black piece of plastic. Okay, now fit the alternator 2402 onto the raised screw socket. Okay, that goes that way like that, and we fix it with 1 DP06 screw again. There we go, just like that. Now what we need is the engine block from previous, and this basically fits on there like that. There's a location point there, raised post, and that should slip over the top, and that goes like that. And we need one of the other screws for this, the DD03. There's only 2 of these, so I'll only use the 1. That screws in there, holding that in place like so. Excellent. So that looks now. Now what we need is the exhaust manifold. Now this goes that way, and it fits there like so, and we'll screw it in from the other side. And for this we need the DP06 screws. There's 4 screws. These don't want to come out. There you come. There we go. Yep, it's 4 screw holes to get the first one in the middle. Just there. There's 1, 2, 3 more. And that is that completed. Let me just switch cameras here. Here we go. These are very small screws. Quite narrow, but they do the job. That's all that matters. Make sure these are fully tight. Nope. There we go. You can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent stuff. And that is issue 24 complete. And it looks exactly like it should be. Excellent stuff. Okay, let's have a look at the magazine. Page 7, On the Ball. Edward Stobart was never particularly keen on football, but that didn't stop him from ensuring that the Stobart name was seen on the football pitch by thousands of people. In the main picture, under the sponsorship of Eddie Stobart, Carlisle United FC took on a colourful strip in the Stobart livery, and they get the nickname Deck Shirts. Excellent stuff. That goes on for 3 pages. On the next page, a quote from Edward Stobart: "We never did it for publicity. Nobody sees our shirts and thinks, I just feel like some haulage. A city like Carlisle needs a league club." Doesn't every time. And then there's another article on the 3rd page. The version of football that is played with a strange shaped ball started in the early 19th century. The origin of the name rugby is simple. It was developed at Rugby School, an independent boys' school in Rugby, Warwickshire. That is so true. And the magazine wouldn't be the magazine without an article on the motorway, the M25, also known as the London Orbital Motorway. The M25 was officially completed and opened in 1986. Surprisingly, the plan for such a London bypass was first mooted as far back as 1913. Wow. And I do believe it cost about £1 billion. I always remember there was an article on Spitting Image. It was brilliant. Margaret Thatcher opened the motorway up, and straight away the contractors came in with the bollards, works needed to be completed. But isn't that the case with all roads these days? As soon as you finish something, they find a fault with it. And on the last page, a mammoth project. When it was completed in 1986, it is estimated that the M25 would cost around £1 billion to build, around 7.5 million per mile. Over 2 million tonnes of concrete and 3.5 million tonnes of asphalt were used, and around 49 million cubic metres of earth, rock and other spoil were removed to make way for the carriageways, slip roads, roundabouts and other fixtures. Excellent stuff. Interesting, some of this stuff for us oldies, I suppose. Well, young ones as well, I suppose, as well. Shouldn't knock myself. Right, issue 25 is the next set of parts, right side of engine block. The right side of the engine block together with fuel valves and screws. There we go. Excellent. Well, that's lovely jubbly. That's brilliant. So enjoyed them too. It didn't take a great long time, but there we go. It's looking really good, that. I'm glad that's not rubber really, because rubber sometimes just perishes. We had that on the DeLorean where the rubber belts just perished after a little bit. They sent out replacements much later in the build, and to be honest, I've never looked at them since, because you don't see the engine on the DeLorean. It's because it's got all the flux capacitor, not the flux capacitor, the other parts on top. Mr. Fusion, that's what I'm trying to think of. It has Mr. Fusion on top and all the other couplings, so you never actually see the engine. You could take all that off, have a look at it. Probably the rubber bands would be fine, but I've never looked, to be honest. But anyway, this will look great. I'm going to show this off. I don't know. I'll have to tilt the cab to have a look at the engine. Maybe that's a good thing to do, really, because the engines always look great, lots of detail. But anyway, that's looking fantastic. Lovely jubbly. Anyway, if you did like that, give us a big thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you soon for issue 25 and 26. Thanks for stopping by. Stay safe. Bye for now.